Oh, this is great. We're starting off with some good technical things. Uh, Here, everybody, have a theme song for a second.
Jeremy and Dave were a dynamic duo, talking about the worst. Can you feel the flow? We dissect the plot, the acting is insane. Laughing at the dialogue, these movies are a pain. Grab your popcorn, settle in for the ride. Our podcast is the place where bad movies collide. We're true blue fans of the RiffTrax crew, mocking cheesy films. It's what they love to do. From Plan 9 to The Room, we've seen it all. They'll make you laugh and cringe, they always give their all. True Blue RiffCast, we're your podcast hosts, talking about the movies that are worst of the worst. True Blue RiffCast, join us on this quest to find the loves in films that failed the test. Tuesdays at 10.
Oh, hi, audience. What's up? It's Greg Sestero here to introduce you to the True Blue RiffCast, where they talk about amazing movies, bad movies, and everything in between. So you're listening to the True Blue RiffCast. Enjoy it.
Thanks, Greg. This is the True Blue RiffCast, the number one RiffTrax podcast in the world, even when I forget to do the starting soon slide at the beginning of the podcast. But I am your host, Jeremy, and I am joined, as always, by...
What's up? I'm Dave. I'm Inside Dave again. It's like I have a set, the RiffTrax theme set. I don't know.
All I have
It's
is
just my wall.
things like Cheddar Goblin. I have RiffTrax stuff somewhere over here. I don't know. I got the beach ball. It's still uninflated. Meet Dave. Yes.
Yes.
Inside David Chadwick.
I almost wore this shirt, but it made me look too fat.
I
don't know,
was
just
gonna
like-
put my podcast shirt back on, and then I remembered I want it good for next weekend when
What?
we'll be
What
in
shirt?
Minneapolis. My podcast
Oh.
shirt. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. With the wrong name on it.
Yeah. The old name.
Everyone knows why.
Yes.
Everyone
Today
knows that.
today we are going to be talking about the first GrimTrax feature,
Yes.
Virus from
Yes.
1980. We also have Dave That Riff coming up with a fun little twist on it this time. And first, we're going to be talking about the weekend box office. James Wan hasn't done anything interesting, so I don't have much to say about what he's been doing this week.
Well, I mean, he still keeps showing up. I put it in the Discord. He still keeps showing up in my friend requests.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny.
I'm like, bruh.
Despicable Me 4 is still hanging on to number one. Brought in another $43.5 million last weekend. Yeah. Long Legs, the new horror movie starring Nicolas Cage as the serial killer who, according to him, based the look of the killer off of his mom when she would put her Noxzema face cream mask on at night. And it always kind of freaked him out when he was a kid. Inside Out 2 in third place. A Quiet Place Day 1 in fourth place. And Fly Me to the Moon at number 5.
Whenever you say "Fly Me to the Moon," there's a short, a musical short that I wish RiffTrax would do. It's public domain. It's called "Dancing on the Moon" with a bunch of dancing animals that all get in this rocket ship and fly to the moon, and they all go and they make babies up there. And they like kiss and there's like a cat. There's like a cat couple, and the husband cat. Something happens, and wife cat gets left behind on the rocket ship, and they all come back, and all the animals get their babies, and the wife cat beats up the husband cat. It's look it up. It's called Dancing on the Moon. It should be on YouTube. I want RiffTrax to do it so bad, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, you never know. I didn't think they would ever actually do Light Blast, and yet we ended up getting that. So for Dave That Riff this week.
Oh, we're going right into that.
We're going right into that. For Dave That Riff. Dave told me that I shouldn't go easy on him this week.
That's true. I did say that.
Because usually I pick mine more for just the humor of it, and Dave actually picks stuff. So this week, I didn't pick any quotes for Dave That Riff. My wife did.
Oh no!
So I told Dave he might be in a little bit of trouble this week.
What did I ever do to Joy?
She volunteered. She wanted to do it. She thought it sounded like fun. So.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. So.
And then when I told Josh Flowers about this a few minutes ago, he said that his first thought was that she was going to be picking quotes, and Dave and I were going to go against each other and see who could get more right. And I said that's not what's happening, but that is a good idea. So we might have to do that at a future date. I don't know if we'd have her necessarily do it, but somebody else pick quotes for me and Dave to go against each other.
Third party to pull quotes for that.
Yeah. So your two movies that she randomly chose: The Incredible Two-Headed Transplant.
Oh, for God's sake.
And Ironheart.
Okay, all right, okay. So these two movies are different enough that I might have a chance.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen The Incredible Two-Headed Transplant since it came out.
Yeah, that one's been a few years. Yeah, 9 years ago.
It's been almost a decade. So, but Ironheart, I know it's like kicky punchy. Whatever.
Ironheart had more driving and parking than it had kicking and punching.
Yeah,
I remember I went through and I counted all the parking scenes that they showed. I don't think I still have that written down, but I did count it.
Okay, so yes, I'm going to take Citizen in the Arms Device. I'm going to draw power from Flux Namtari. All right, let's do it.
All right.
Get any better? I don't think it's going to be that bad. I should do okay.
Yeah, you'll probably do all right. Well, I guess I should go reinflate my hair.
Ironheart.
That is The Incredible Two-Headed Transplant.
Damn it! Okay, all right. It's okay. It's all right.
All right.
It's okay.
She actually wrote these on paper, too, which is like... It's fun when a movie has so many sex deviants you can't keep track of them all.
It could be either. It could be either. But I know Ironheart has a lot of rapé in it. So I'm going to say Ironheart.
That is The Incredible Two-Headed Transplant.
What is happening?
All right.
Guys, I have to get every question right from here on out.
Order a large, lots of meats of pizza. Come on.
The last two were The Incredible Two-Headed Transplant. So I'm gonna regret this. I'm gonna say Ironheart again.
That is Ironheart.
Oh, thank God. Oh my God.
All right. Let's see.
Guys, this is really bad. This is really bad.
All right, you ready? Next one.
Yeah.
Excuse me, it's pronounced. Well, actually, that wasn't far off.
There's no way I'm going to be able to. Excuse me. Damn it. It's a 50-50 shot, so two-headed transplant.
That is Ironheart.
Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! All right.
All right, two more. You can at least get 50%, like I did the one time. All right. Well, we can still Sharpie a wang on his forehead.
So I know. Whoa! Oh, shoot. I'm going to say that. Oh, geez. I'm going to say that comes when two-headed transplant dies. So two-headed transplant.
That is indeed incredible two-headed transplant.
Okay, all right. So I think if I can get 3 out of 6, it'll be bad, but it won't be a.
I mean, it's half. Half is fine.
Yeah.
All right, our last one. And all I got was a gift card to Linens and Things.
Ironheart.
That was incredible two-headed transplant.
Oh man, I think that was the worst I've done.
So 2 for 6. That's
2 for 6. That's pretty bad. For a movie that I haven't seen in 9 years. It's okay. It's all right.
I told you were going to be in a little bit of trouble because I knew it's probably had been a while since you watched that one. So, but she literally went to like a random number generator, had it pick between 1 and however many VODs there are, 400 and something, and she did that twice to pick the movie. So it was literally at random.
That's pretty crazy. Well, I have been brought down.
I think this is the perfect segue right into GrimTrax.
That's right,
because that was pretty grim.
It was pretty grim. Time for GrimTrax.
My initial idea was that I was actually going to use GrimTrax for this, and I was going to use Cypher in the Snow as one, and then one of the other shorts as the other one, and probably the one about the old lady.
That would have been pretty easy.
Yeah, probably, but it would have been thematically appropriate with what we're about to talk about. We're going to talk about the bleakest movie that I've seen in quite a while, actually.
Yeah, man.
This movie makes Zindy the Swamp Boy seem like a fun family romp.
Yeah, because only a few people die horribly in that.
Yeah. As opposed to everybody, literally everybody dying horribly.
So yeah, we'll just get ahead of it. This movie was a global Hamlet pile. Now, a Hamlet pile is a term that I coined, meaning that
think we have that in our lexicon already.
In Hamlet, where everyone gets gacked and every character just ends up like in this dead pile of bodies, at the end of the play. So yeah, so that's a Hamlet pile, and this one it's like usually in like post-apocalypse movies, like there's like some hope, like they have like a man and a lady to make babies, and maybe the human race can continue with like a very, like, boy, that woman has got her work cut out for her.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, it's even more grim than the Little Mermaid. Yeah, it's more grim than that. But no, not this one. Everyone's dead. The whole human race.
Yeah. Everybody. Just so you know, he got 2 right.
2?
Yeah.
Thanks, Joy.
He said thanks.
Oh, sorry. Did you tell him I did it completely random?
Yeah, I explained to him how you put it in the random thing, and lean in. Everybody's
It
saying
was
hi.
the worst. Hi, Joy. It was the worst I've ever done.
What's he
The
saying?
worst he's ever done.
Random is good. Gotcha. Next time I'm going to do it so that you guys can go head to head.
I'm gonna go get a lady friend just so that she can do that to you.
I don't know what it is.
He said he's gonna go get a lady friend just so he can do that to me now.
Okay.
That's a good reason. That's a good reason to get with someone, Dave.
RiffTrax related 100%.
Hey, look, hey. I got this. I got this friend named Jeremy, and we have a podcast. It's called the True Blue Riffcast. We have this game where, and his wife like picked the things for him one time, and I just got smoked. So like, you think I might want to date you because like I like you and want to be with you? No. I need you to. Because you have like no knowledge of. I mean, Joy probably has a lot of RiffTrax knowledge. You probably have 0, so you have like no skin in the game. So you would just pick things at total random, and yeah, that's why we're gonna date. I think that would be a great foundation for any kind of relationship that's going to last.
Yes, that is a wonderful reason to get with somebody. But Virus. So this was based off of a 1964 novel. And it was written by Sakio Komatsu. It was a 1964 post-apocalyptic science fiction novel titled Virus, or the literal translation is Day of Resurrection. Even though, everybody dies. And it's a little different in the book. In the book, it was a space mission, a U.S. space mission, where they gathered a bunch of microbes in orbit, and they used those to make a virus for germ warfare. And in this one, I don't think that they did that, but we got some East Germany action going on. And yeah, this one did start.
Who thought there would be one Germany eventually? You mean
this
there used to be 2 Germanys?
Yeah, this whole thing starts off with Mike, Kevin, and Bill talking a little bit about the feature. They said that they found it a couple years ago, but they've been holding on to it and not releasing it for some particular reason.
Well, I think that reason I'm not going to say what it is, but it's definitely COVID. It may have been a little too close to home.
Well, too close to home.
But now we're all making jokes about it. So
yeah. Kevin says that if you tried to watch this movie without the riffs, that you probably wouldn't make it. Well, what just happened to my things here?
Kevin listens to this podcast.
Hang on, something's going wonky with my cameras. We just got moved around. Hot live technical issue solving. There we go.
Girls live without the girls.
Yeah, without the girls and without the hot, other than temperature wise, because it's freaking hot today. Within 7 months of the virus getting out, because of course the guy, the German double crosses the other guy, and he steals the virus, the MM88, which there's a great riff when they say the name for the first time. I believe it's Kevin, where he's like, Germans and the number 88. What could go wrong? That was one of our first clues that we were definitely in for some majorly dark humor in this one.
Oh yeah, and boy, did they deliver! I even put a thing in the Discord when I was watching it on Friday. I was just one of the jokes was one of the scientists who was writing a letter or doing something on. He's like, "Dear Jodie Foster, loved you in Taxi Driver. Why haven't you returned my calls?" or something why haven't you written me back? And I was like, oh, they're going hard in the paint. And who knew that joke would become relevant so quickly? What?
So most of the world's population is dead.
Yeah.
There's
at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, not that long into the movie, everybody's starting to die off. Yes, it's not the Jamie Lee Curtis virus. That is a very different movie than this one. All of the people who are at the different Antarctica research labs are all safe currently, because when it's below 10 below Celsius, the virus is inactive. It doesn't do anything. But of course, if you get it inside the station, it's going to be a little bit warmer in there. And I think it was Finland was the first one to die off completely. And we found out this because a couple of the guys from the Japanese station went over there, and because people are starting to get low on rations and all that stuff. And so they go over there to maybe trade some things, and they see everybody's dead. And then they find a woman in a closet. And she's one of the...
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I said I am glad that they had a lot of fun skiing before they all died down there on Antarctica.
Yeah.
Can you hear that lawnmower?
No, I can't. I'm actually kind of having a hard time hearing you. You're cut in and out a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
But at the time, before the one station all dies, there's 855 men and 8 women. One of the things that happens when they finally all get together, they form some sort of council, and it turns out that the woman is pregnant and she has a baby. I don't know if she was pregnant before she came or if it was after she got there, because her and the one guy from the Japanese research station were pretty close there. They were a little amorous. Nothing bad in Rats or anything like that, but but right before one of the generals dies for the US, he activates the automated reaction system, the ARS. So if anybody fires any missiles at the United States, this will fire its own missiles back. And they realize that they have to go stop this from happening, or everybody who's still alive is going to die in nuclear winter. And so who is it that goes? I can't remember which character.
I don't remember, but
It's Chuck
eventually
Connors. It was Chuck Connors.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because this movie has a stacked cast, like George Kennedy, Chuck Connors, Sonny Chiba was in this movie. I didn't even notice he was in this movie until I saw his name in the credits, and then I had to look it up to see who he was. Henry Silva's in here. A lot of big names, and then of course the young Edward James Olmos in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Which is definitely the youngest I've ever seen him in anything.
Yeah, I did. I thought he was born at the age of 55.
But this movie was a Japanese production.
And let me tell you something about the Japanese in that regard. Is that, man, they have a weird idea about what goes on inside the White House. Particularly what goes on inside the Oval Office. And just like how the president and all his advisors regard each other and talk to each other and just generally keep a nice and tidy Oval Office. Because wow, it was not looking good towards the end. So the president and a senator or somebody, they really don't like each other at all. But they just they hate each other. But they decided they're just gonna die together as blankets wrapped around each other in the Oval Office. It's just it's the weirdest thing. It's like you're the president of the United States. Have some dignity. You know?
Yeah, the one senator dies, and then the president just is like, "You were my opponent on many issues, but in the end, you were never my enemy."
I have to imagine that when the script was written in Japanese, that it sounds a lot better.
Probably.
It's sort of like the reverse of you remember that horrible Mortal Kombat movie that we both saw and that we both hated.
Yes.
But we both really liked the beginning of it with the Hanzo and Bihan murder scene in the Shiryu, the fire gardens.
Yeah.
All that. And that was really cool. That was badass. But then we're just like, okay, what? We don't know. What if all these lines delivered in Japanese, what if they sound super cheesy? And we just think it sounds cool because it's in Japanese and we have that oh, that sounds so badass because Japanese in of itself sounds really cool. And stuff like that. So, and then we're just reading what they're saying. But what if we spoke Japanese and they're just delivering these lines just totally awfully, and it just sounds terrible and awful. I get the feeling this is the reverse effect of that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Anyway, we kind of got off track a little bit. The guy has to go. Major Carter decides he's going to go to Washington, D.C. to try and shut down the ARS command bunker. And the Yoshizumi, the Japanese guy, tags along with them. And he's like, I'm strong enough to handle this. And he's like, no, you're really not. And we got a 5-minute scene of this little scrawny guy trying to tackle Chuck Connors in the snow and failing miserably until he gets punched out. Just bam, and he's just out. And then he picks him up and takes him with him anyway. But They go there. They figure out that there's a vaccine. This guy developed a successful vaccine for the virus, so they both inject that into themselves before they go into D.C. Chuck Connors gets crushed by some building rubble. They fail to stop the missile launch, and the world is destroyed. Everybody is dead. Oh, Bo Svensson. Sorry, Bo Svensson. Thank you, Oliver. I watched it yesterday. Cut me some slack. This movie was boring.
Pretty bad.
It was boring. There was so much just sitting around and talking, and not very much virusing. And up until the world gets destroyed at the very end, yes, it's a happy ending. It does make a sequel impossible. And we get these flyovers of just different parts of like glaciers floating in water, and they're singing a song about how it's possible to start over someday. Like, no, it's not. Not here. Everybody gone. Nobody's starting over anything here.
There are no people to. I just thought of Pandemic 3 and Dr. Sex. Be like, we're doomed. Just go out there, find someone to bang, and then die.
Yeah. That's basically what happened in this one, yeah.
And Rod's awesome roundhouse kick,
Oh, okay. There are two cuts of this movie. There's the American version and there's the Japanese version.
What did we get?
We got the American version. Yeah. Hey, RiffTrax, thanks for the raid. Good to see you. In the American version, the one that we got, we see the bomb exploding. The screen goes black, credits start, and we get the song about it's not too late, you can always rebuild, whatever. In the Japanese version, Yoshizumi does survive, and he heads back to Antarctica. When he gets back there, he finds... he gets to Tierra del Fuego by 1988. He finds survivors from the boat who were immunized by the vaccine. He gets back with the woman, and he says, life is wonderful, and that's the end of the movie.
Okay, so I'm looking at it. It looks like the Japanese version is 156 minutes. That's not how long the version we watched was. I thought that we did get the full version. Because it's like, what, an hour and a half? Or like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that?
Yeah. We did get the full American version.
Okay.
We just didn't get the full Japanese version, which has that whole extra crap at the end.
This is theatrical. I mean, I had to. I mean,
yes, this movie was released theatrically. At the time it was made, it was the most expensive Japanese film ever made.
Really?
Yeah. Toho distributed this movie. It was produced by Haruki Katakawa, and the movie bombed so poorly that the producer actually stopped making movies.
That's terrible.
He stopped making major films anyway. He started doing smaller films starring like musical idols over in Japan. They showed the movie originally at the Cannes Film Festival in 1980 as a work-in-progress print. This was the American version they showed. It was released. It originally ran at 155 minutes. It was released with a 180-minute runtime, and then was presented on television with a 93-minute runtime. So there you go. And the original Japanese cut is on home video It was released in 2006 with English subtitles. But yeah, this movie was a bore. It was a bore, but it was also the bleakest thing, just because of the ending. The fact that, hey, guess what? They failed. The bombs went off, and now everybody's dead.
Everyone's dead.
So as opposed to the end of Zindy the Swamp Boy, where, you know, Grandpa died 3/4 of the way through, and Zindy dies right before the people would have gotten there to save him. This is... I don't think it's the worst, like, the bleakest ending to a movie I've ever seen. I think the ending to The Mist still kind of takes that one for me.
I haven't seen that, but isn't it like they were almost there and like a kid dies or something?
They got out of the store that they were in. They're like, we're going, and they end up like they can't go any further from where they are. So I think it's dad and mom and their son are still together. I don't remember. It might just be dad and the son. Anyway, so they don't suffer from these monsters that are attacking everybody. He unalives his kid. I don't remember if the wife's there with him, but he shoots her too. If she is.
Chris Benoit's family.
Yeah, and then right after he does that, he turns the gun on himself, and then the military shows up and starts clearing out the monsters. The end. I think that one's a little bit worse. But
I'm trying to think what.
Yeah, Chinatown was a downer. What else? What did I miss in here? The Green Mile definitely has a downer ending.
I thought The Green Mile was a hilarious movie.
Yeah, especially the part where they put the dude in the chair without the water and the sponge. Oh.
You watch George Washington get all pissy. David Morse. That's a good show. Everyone should watch. John Adams from HBO as David Morse as George Washington.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti is John Adams. It's pretty good.
Somebody's glaring. Oh, she's glaring at you because you said it was funny. That movie has some really funny parts in it.
Like, you know. Anyway. That's not the worst thing I've said on this podcast.
No,
tonight.
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not. Go back and listen to Goo Goo Gaga Smurf if you want to hear the worst thing that actually made it onto the podcast that Dave has said. You know,
Sam Rockwell was really good in that movie as
yeah.
As the psycho.
Oh man, but this movie, like, if I hope that they make GrimTrax an actual recurring like theme.
I do too.
Now.
I think like we're just like these horrible horrible subject matter. Like I haven't seen the entire okay. I don't know how widely this is known, but like Thor Ragnarok is my favorite movie of all time. All time. Thor Love and Thunder? Not so much.
Yeah. Definitely not as good.
Like the difference between that movie and its predecessor is that, you know, it knows like when to let up and be kind of serious and stuff like that, but they just went Taika Waititi just went full bore nonsense. But in addition to the full bore nonsense, they have this awful storyline of Natalie Portman having cancer. That is just like, okay, look, if you want to make a movie, you want to make a sad sack movie about a woman dying from cancer, okay, do that. But not in the sequel to Thor Ragnarok. I think I'm kind of for RiffTrax doing movies like that. Like if they are, if the movies are like The Room. Like I don't know how well it would go over with, like, say, The English Patient. You know? Or like, what's another sad sack movie that
Another sad sack that would be too serious for even the GrimTrax to handle? Schindler's List.
I was literally about to say Schindler's List. That might be too hard in the paint.
Yeah.
Not that I think anything is. I think anything can be riffable, but I also think that, like, you know, know where the boundaries of good taste are.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like I think anything with the H cost, the hologram cost.
Yeah.
I think that may be not a good way to go. But I'm just trying to think of, like, what sad sack movies they could do that would like famous sad sack movies.
Kramer
what
versus
about
Kramer.
Maybe.
Sophie's Choice. Not Without My Daughter. Stuff like that.
What about that movie, that TV movie about that dumb baby that fell down the well?
Oh,
Baby
the
Jessica.
Baby Jessica. Maybe
Baby
Bridget and Mary
Jessica.
Jo could do Steel Magnolias. You know what? I would totally watch Bridget and Mary Jo riffing Steel Magnolias, even though it is a super sad movie. Yeah. But yeah, stuff like that definitely. I also just learned that when they made this movie initially, they hired an American special effects team to do the work for the movie. When the director saw the results, he disapproved and stated that he could not use it because it was too realistic. So he hired a Japanese company to do the work instead, to focus on creating evocative and poetic imagery as opposed to realism.
What was that movie that Nicholas Meyer did? That, like, that they saw it as about the end of the world, about nuclear holocaust, and Ronald Reagan saw it and was like, well,
was that the made-for-TV movie?
The what?
Was it a made-for-TV movie?
Yeah, it was a made-for-TV movie. The Day After, yeah.
The Day After, yeah. Yeah, that one
The Note.
freaked out a bunch of people. A whole bunch of people.
So The Notebook, I don't know much about The Notebook. I just know that it's a Nicholas Sparks movie. And I remember reading about, like, people's reaction to it. And apparently there were girls who were, like, doubled over outside the theater, just, like, bawling after The Notebook. And that just made me think of this story. When I went to go see, I was one of the very few people who went and saw The Eternals in the movie theater in 2021. And I saw it, and I was like, okay, that wasn't so bad. It turns out I'm the only one to have that opinion. Like, it wasn't good, but it wasn't
I didn't think it
terrible.
was awful.
But beaches, oh god. So at the end of the movie, they have their stupid post-credit scenes, and one was with Jon Snow. They set him up to be a Black Knight, and that's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
My Girl, yes. But the one of the other post-credit scenes was
Harry Styles and
Patton
Patton
Oswalt.
Oswalt. Yeah.
Yeah, Patton Oswalt showed up, and like he was like this weird non-human character, and he introduced some character. Number one, a character I've never heard of before. There was like the brother of Thanos or something.
Yeah, Star Fox.
It shows up, and it comes and like there's this actor I've never seen or heard of before, right? And
Bridge to
the girl in
Terabithia.
front of me, and I guess this person ends up being Harry Styles, right? And guys, I never heard of this person before this moment. I was like, well, who is this? This chick gets up, points at the screen, and screams and faints. And I was like, what happened? Like what? It was pretty bad. Like I guess he's a big deal. I mean, that was my introduction to Harry Styles. There is a theory in metaphysics where it's like the whole world revolves around like you as the individual, right?
Yeah.
And like everything that happens, everything that goes on in the world, like molds itself to you. And when something new is introduced out of like nowhere, then it's as if like once it comes into being, it is as if that thing was there all the time, and you just barely start noticing everything. It's like, what is all this? Like, what? It's been around everywhere. Like, no, I haven't seen it. It's kind of like I haven't seen it before, but it's like, that was like, but once he was like introduced into my life, suddenly I started seeing him everywhere. And I was just like, okay, this is one of those things where like the whole world is me. It's kind of like, and this is RiffTrax related. Back in 2008, when I wrote my Aliens Abducting Vampire novel, The Tumbleweed Dossier, I decided like, well, I'm going to read some vampire novels, and I Twilight was not on my radar, and like until that. And someone says like, "Oh, you should read Twilight." So I went to the bookstore. I was like, "Show me this Twilight book." Like, here you go. And I took home and I read. I was like, "Oh God, like what is this?" And I was like, "I've never heard." Like the girl who recommended him is like, "I've never heard of it before." Like, what do you mean you've never heard of Twilight before? And I'm like, "I haven't." But then it was everywhere, and like then the fourth book came out, and then the movie came out. And it was just like. That was another thing where it's just like, just barely like turn your head and suddenly there's a whole world full of things that you didn't even know. Like, just like turn your head slightly this way. Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff there. It's just like, I don't know. I can't be the only one that like this happens to, where like you completely miss an entire cultural like movement.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because you're just fellow LDS Stephanie Mary. Yes, that's correct. But I'm sorry. What were we talking about?
It started. We were talking about The Notebook. We were talking about downer movies. I want to say this. I have not watched The Notebook. My wife has not watched The Notebook. She read the book years before the movie came out. And I do know that they changed the ending. almost entirely. At the end, I'm spoiling it for everybody. At the end,
Okay.
because the lady, it's the guy going to see her, like in the nursing home or whatever, and he's like recalling their story of how they came to be together to her, because she has Alzheimer's and all that stuff.
You could just say anything.
And then in the movie, he lays down in the bed next to her, and they both die. And that's the end of the movie. They just both die together. At the end of the book, he lays down next to her, and they don't die. They have some old people fun times. Because there's actually a sequel book. But, yeah, they have old people fun times.
They can't have old people boning. They have to die in this movie. Because that's what the kids want.
I mean, it apparently made, it made a ton of money. People love it. So, yeah, the sequel book is called There's a Sequel. It's called The Wedding. That was before my wife was really into Nicholas Sparks novels, and then he decided that he was going to divorce his wife and his autistic child and leave them, and so he could like focus on his writing. And so she's like, "Nope, I'm done."
Divorced 2015,
and that
5 kids,
and that ended that. She actually sold all the books too. She had all first edition hardcovers. She sold them all.
Look at all these weirdo books this weirdo has written. The Notebook, Message in the Book. All these titles are awful.
Yeah.
Dear John, The Choice, The Last Song.
There's one, I don't remember what it's called. Yes, this has become Nicholas Sparks' cast, which is something I never thought I'd say. There's a book where this guy, like his wife is dead, and he starts seeing this other woman like years down the road, and his wife's ghost comes and meets the woman to talk to her and make sure that she's right for her widower.
Okay. If the ghost can do that, why wouldn't you just okay?
Just stick around and just hang out with him, like.
Just hang out with your husband, you dumb whore. I mean, do you watch? Do you sit down and watch your husband bang his new girlfriend too as a ghost?
I mean, that's kind of the implication.
Oh no. I don't know, man.
But that's one of the ones they made a movie of.
And I died, I would not. Number one, I wouldn't want my wife to remarry at all. It's like, no, mourn. Like I expect you to mourn for the rest of your life. I definitely wouldn't be watching her bang her new husband.
That's the one they made a movie out of that one. I thought that was. They also made one. One of Mandy Moore's movies was a Nicholas Sparks book, and we went to go see it, and she was all mad. My wife was all mad because they changed that one up too much too.
What about? Hey,
A Walk to Remember. Thank you. I forgot that one.
What about if GrimTrax did? Wait for it. $1 Million Baby.
Yeah, that would definitely fit the moniker there of GrimTrax.
Yeah, that was now $1 Million Baby. I saw that for the first time, I think, since the pandemic, and I was just like, I thought it was just going to be like crotchety old Clint Eastwood in like this girl boxing movie. What we got, how it ended, how it just took that drastic swerve. I was like, oh my god, this is a different kind of movie now. This is not what I signed up for. Like, what is this, Clint Eastwood? Why did you do this? Oh boy!
Yeah.
Wow.
I have not. I've not seen that movie. I mean, I know the ending because it's very famous, but I have not actually seen that one. That's one of those classics that I've never watched before. I know Dave and I both have some weird movies that we haven't seen. That most people are like, "Oh, these are the best movies ever."
I'm asking ChatGPT something. Give me 20 really sad movies that it would be inappropriate to make dark jokes during.
And
turn.
Antichrist, Serbian film. Those are some of the worst ones I can think of.
Okay, we're gonna go through these.
Oh God!
Certainly, here are 20 deeply sad movies where making dark jokes would be highly inappropriate. Number 1. What do you think number 1 is, everybody?
Schindler's List.
Schindler's List, 1993. I haven't heard of a lot of these. I can't see chat right now.
Marley
so.
and Me. Yes, that's
So,
way.
Grave of the Fireflies. What is that?
Grave of the Fireflies is an animated Japanese animated movie that was released initially as a part of a double feature with Studio Ghibli's My Neighbor Totoro. I know a lot about this. And it's a movie about these two kids that are trying to survive post-war in Japan. And
wow.
It doesn't end well. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay, so Manchester by the Sea, 2016. Never heard of
that
it.
one. I'm not familiar with.
Okay, so
number
4,
look
The
that one
Boy
up.
in the Striped Pajamas.
Ooh, yeah,
2008.
yeah. That's about a kid making friends with another kid who's in a camp. In a camp.
Are all these
In a
about the
hologram.
Holocaust?
In a hologram camp. I don't know what Manchester by the Sea is.
Okay, so number 5 is 12 Years a Slave.
Yep.
They're definitely not going to do that. 6 is The Green Mile. We talked about that. 7 is Requiem for a Dream. 8, My Sister's Keeper.
Yeah.
9, The Pursuit of Happiness. Oh, geez.
The Pursuit of
Life
Happiness?
is Beautiful. Yeah. 10, Life is Beautiful. Yeah, can't do that. 11, Sophie's Choice.
I think I brought that one up
Atonement.
earlier.
I don't know
Atonement?
What that is. Yeah. So, $13 million Baby. 14, Philadelphia.
Yeah, that would probably be a bad one.
15, Dancer in the Dark. I don't know what that is. 2000. 16, Dear Zachary, a letter from a son about his father.
Oh, yeah,
that?
no, don't. Just ignore that one.
Is it?
Just trust me. You don't want to read up on that. Don't.
Well, now I have to.
It will crush you.
We're gonna do it live here on the Truth.
Oh God.
I won't read it out loud, but you guys will be able to see my. Oh my goodness. 2008 documentary film. Blah blah. All right, cool, all right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You were correct. I have like 10,000 open tabs here. That's Twitter. Where is my list of gross, sad movies? Room 2015. I know that movie exists. I don't know what it's about. Blue
I know it
Valentine,
exists.
whatever.
I know Room exists because of the Marvel comic panel where Captain Marvel wanted to watch Room, and they bring her a copy of The Room on DVD.
Pretty funny.
And they talk about how Tommy Wiseau's an alien. Yeah.
So Blue Valentine, whatever that is.
Buddha Valentine?
No, Blue Valentine, like the color blue.
Oh, Blue Valentine. Yeah.
Precious.
Okay.
Based on the novel Push by Sunfire. And 20 The Road. So those are, let's check. These films often deal with heavy themes such as the Holocaust, terminal illness, slavery, and personal tragedy, making them especially inappropriate for any form of humor. So there's 20 right there, GrimTrax.
Another movie that's kind of like that I watched once, Joy and I, because I had heard such good things about the story. It was called Never Let Me Go, and it has Andrew Garfield and a couple other people I don't remember off the top of my head, but they exist to be spare parts, spare organs for the people that they were basically created from, cloned from, on the mainland.
That's like,
and they figure it out, and they go, and one of them tries to meet the person that they're the spare parts for. It was, Parts of Clonosaur, yeah, but way more depressing.
With Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, which is also basically Parts of Clonosaur.
So, Virus.
Super depressing. There was some great riffs in it, though. Some great, like, just really dark stuff that I wasn't expecting, like the whole Jodie Foster thing. And
that was pretty great. I think that's a joke. That's the joke of the year contender, right?
Yeah, that one was good. There was a lot of dark. I mean, I know every once in a while they give us a few dark jokes here and there in other riffs, but this whole thing was loaded with them.
Oh yeah, it was pretty.
Oh
good.
yes, they made it. They made another job at the joke when the guys who stole the virus after they killed the Germans, they were flying off in a plane, and they had to stay low to stay under radar, and they crashed into the side of a mountain, and they made a joke about John Denver's "Follow Me," and yeah, it was another one that was just very, very good. I do understand, Oliver, where you're coming from when you say that you prefer these in shorts form.
Yeah.
For some, it's definitely more palatable in little bite-size pieces. But
they just sit there and endure it for an hour and a half. I don't know. I had a really fun time with this one. I did. I would. It's a thumbs up from me, from Dave.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I really hope we get more like it, because as bad as the movie was, it was hilarious. It was so much fun. Oliver, I'm very excited for next week. I know you mentioned something about that already, and I'm very excited for that. Excited to go hang out in a new place and meet some new other RiffTrax fans, and maybe go down the line, kind of similar to how RiffTrax does it, where they go and they, like last year, they asked what the worst movie we ever saw was. And I'm up there talking about cats and my disdain
You
for
and
the
everybody
movie.
else.
And yeah, so I'll probably do something like that. Go down the line, talk to people, maybe ask just what their favorite RiffTrax are. Do a special live broadcast. I was going to. I'm not going to get into too much discussion because this is a whole nother mess. Dave, you'll have to look this one up. I was going to order some stickers. And I was going to use Sticker Mule, which is a very popular and widely used site. They're a little bit out of my price range, so unfortunately I wasn't able to do that. I wanted to order just some of the... My phone just fell. Some of the True Blue Riffcast stickers just to hand out to people. Just little tiny little rectangular stickers. And it was like $60 for 50 stickers. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of a lot.
Yeah, it's cheap.
And
Not
then,
cheap, it's steep.
and then after this weekend, the owner of Sticker Mule took to Twitter and let his feelings be known. And
No.
and yeah, it hasn't turned out too well for him.
Oh no. Sticker rule, you say?
And then of course he was responding to people kind of doubling down a little bit. Not that this should have been a big surprise to anybody, because like a few tweets before that, they like gave away like a Cybertruck and all this dumb stuff. Dave must be looking at it right now. Put it this way, the stuff that he tweeted out was not the way to grow your audience necessarily, because you're kind of cutting a whole group of people off. So that's kind of a twofold reason why I won't have stickers to hand out. Oliver, you'll be wearing your True Blue Riffcast hat. That's cool.
Well, I was just looking, my reaction to a lot of the people that were saying stuff to him. Like, oh,
Yeah, there's a
geez.
lot. There's a lot of back and forth. But it's Twitter. Twitter's a cesspool. Twitter's awful.
Okay, look, if you're going to say something like this, okay, say it. But, like, I don't know, man. I wouldn't.
Maybe
I wouldn't
use
engage.
your personal account and not your company's account. Also, anyway, I think that's gonna wrap things up for us today.
Nothing really wrong with what he's saying here.
No, overall it's fine. Overall it's fine.
But use your personal account, and you gotta expect some responses.
Yeah, and
on
maybe don't
Twitter, is what I'm saying.
maybe don't respond to those responses.
Yeah.
That being said,
I don't know. I would not now. I wouldn't invite controversy
you had what?
on my business. What's that?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said I would not personally. I would not invite controversy on myself like that.
No.
I would not.
No. That's part of the reason why we don't talk about that kind of stuff here on the podcast,
No, we don't.
because we don't want pushback from people online.
Yeah.
Because people online, as a whole, are awful. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's the reason. It's just and Twitter's a cesspool.
Yeah. Twitter makes it even worse. But if you guys are going, well, I'll see you there next week. Next weekend. It's like 10 days. Very excited. I'm missing the entire opening weekend of Deadpool and Wolverine at work, which I know my boss still isn't too happy about, but I did put in for the time off before the release date was announced for the movie, so it's not on me. I'm gonna try. I have to test the content this week on Thursday morning. What we do is we have to basically play the movies, all the new movies in a new auditorium. We have to play them to make sure that they loaded right, that the sound is in sync, everything's working, And so I'm saying that I want to go in a little bit early and test the movie, and maybe go in at like 7:30, even though I don't have to be there till 10, because I know that movie's like 2 hours and 14 minutes long, and I might just test it the whole way through. But yeah, that's definitely gonna wrap things up for us today. If you enjoy the podcast, my brain is like fried right now. If you enjoy the podcast and you want to support us, the best way to do that is to follow us on Twitch, which is where we broadcast live from every Tuesday, or at least when we broadcast live, it's on Tuesday. And of course, you can subscribe and you can throw bits and all that fun stuff. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/TrueBlueRiffCast, where I post all of these live videos up there, and they come off of Twitch right away. And so that's the only way to watch the whole thing, get the full experience, so you can see Dave's faces and my faces when we're talking about things like actors and finding out how they died, and finding out that a 21-year-old has to kiss a 13-year-old on camera, that kind of thing. You can see our actual reactions to it instead of just listening to us kind of laughing and a little bit quiet for a minute before Dave yells at me to come back into the room because I walked out.
I listened to that the other day.
So you can get all that uncut over at Patreon, patreon.com/TrueBlueRiffCast. Of course, you can find us on any of your favorite podcast platforms, including the newest addition to that, YouTube. We have a whole playlist up there of everything. And, yeah, you can go check out Goo Goo Gaga Smurf if you want to see the best worst moment in the history of the podcast. It's right around 30 minutes in or so. But you really can't just jump to it if you haven't seen it already, because you got to get the context behind it. Otherwise, it probably won't hit the same, but it's still bad. That's all I'll say. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at TBRiffCast, and I'm pretty much everywhere else as PB and Awesome.
And I'm Dave. You can check me out on Amazon and Audible, Dave Chadwick. Check me out on X, formerly known as Twitter, at DChadwickAuthor. And yeah, that's it.
All right, guys, we will see you here next time on the True Blue Riffcast.
Rock till you die.
Rock till you die.